I would say, yeah, I would have said to myself, dress to express, not impress. I would have made sure that I was dressing to what made me feel good, that showed off my personality and stopped worrying about what anybody else might think I might be wearing.
Welcome to Off the Hanger, the fashion podcast where we delve deep into our guests' wardrobes, finding out their favourite fashion pieces and the stories behind them. This week's guest is model Rachel Peru. We chatted about finding fashion in later life, how brands really need to start working on inclusivity, and how mustard might be fashion's most tricky colour. But before we dive into this episode, I'm not going to ask you to like and subscribe or any of that kind of stuff. I'm just going to ask that if you enjoy this episode, share it with a friend. Because remember, sharing's caring. Rachel, thank you so much for being a guest on Off the Hanger. It's lovely to have you here. I'm really excited to hear all about your wardrobe stories, but also your career in modelling.
Thank you for having me, Emma. I'm really looking forward to being on with you today. I love fashion. It's part of my job now. So, I'm excited to be talking to you today.
And did you always love fashion? Is this a lifelong thing, or is this something that you just discovered at some point?
I enjoyed fashion when I was younger, kind of up to probably about 14, 15. I had my own sense of style. And then I do think I lost my confidence with it in my 20s and 30s. So I've kind of rekindled that love later in life, which I'm loving. And I now feel more confident in my wardrobe and the clothes I wear than I probably ever have done.
And I think that's incredible. I think that's possibly true for a lot of people. Fashion, for some people, is a lifelong love. And for other people, we kind of dip in and out of it, depending on how we feel about ourselves at the time, depending on what life events are going on at the time. I think sometimes it's very, very difficult to be fashionable when you've got small children and you're literally just surviving rather than thriving through life.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, I had 3 young children, and that's all a blur that particular time in my 30s. But I think even in my 20s, I felt really insecure about my body. I was really self-conscious. So I used to dread shopping trips. Some girlfriends would love that, would think nothing better than a day shopping in your 20s. I used to dread it. Whereas now, I love it.
And do you have an earliest fashion memory from your childhood?
Yeah, my mum I've got an older sister, she's 4 years older than me, and she used to always put us both in matching clothes. And Christmas, it was back in the 70s, so everything was handmade, full length tartan, sleeveless maxi dresses, matching. And I know my sister hated it, so she'd have been 10, 11. I was 6 or 7 when we first started wearing them, and we wore them every Christmas for years. And mine just got shorter and shorter because I got the hand-me-downs. So yeah, that's probably my first. I mean, I love tartan now, but it took me a while to wear tartan after that because the material was really scratchy. It was that heavy tartan that kind of just, didn't need ironing because it just didn't move. But it was that kind of material. So that put me off for a while.
It's a very festive look. I imagine the pictures from that were fabulous.
Yes, matching polo necks underneath as well, so that alternated. So red polo necks, pale pink polo necks with it. So yeah, every year was different.
What's the oldest thing in your wardrobe?
I love vintage fashion, so I really do love vintage. My oldest piece, I've got my oldest summer piece is an early 1970s shift dress, and the pattern is absolutely gorgeous. It's got big pockets. I love it. Tuned with a pair of trainers, and it's kind of like a silk material, and it's in such good condition. But it is early 1970s, and it fits me perfectly. So that's my favourite summer piece, my oldest.
That's fabulous. It's got real poochy vibes to it with that print.
It has, yeah. I love the colours. It's very in now, and that's what I love about vintage. It kind of these they come round from decades. They come round later on in life, so not throwing stuff away and keeping them. I love wearing them, and I also love the fact that somebody else has worn this, and I always think, what else have they done in that dress? Where have these people been wearing this dress? So I just like to carry on that legacy.
And it's also the exceptional quality that those pieces have got. They've survived all this time, and as long as you look after them, they're just going to keep on going and going. Whereas if you bought something similar now, it's probably only going to last 5 or 10 years because the quality's not as good as it once was.
Yeah, absolutely. And the cut's different. The cut's a really good cut on the fits really well. It's a really kind of light silk material. There's no lining in it, but it looks brand new. And, you're right, something like that that's made today probably wouldn't last 10 years.
Now, I bet that gets a lot of compliments. What would you say is the most complimented piece?
Let me see. I would say I'm a massive fan of jumpsuits. And I know they're a love-hate, they're a bit of a Marmite because I know there's a toilet issue, but I love wearing jumpsuits. So I've got a Karen Millen denim jumpsuit that's kind of got ABBA vibes, that kind of 1970s flared. So I've got, it's hard to see because it's navy blue like my living room, but it's a V-neck, gold buttons, and it's got really wide bell-bottom pants, but it fits me like a glove. So I absolutely love wearing that, and I always get really good compliments on that. But yeah, jumpsuits, big fan.
I think jumpsuits are amazing, especially if you're able to find a brand or a cut that is the right one for your body shape, because I think that's the problem that so many people have. If you're slightly longer in the body or slightly shorter in the body, it's about finding that brand that's cutting it to your shape, because then they just look incredible. And it's a one and done, which I'm totally here for.
Yeah, I am. I live in trainers, so I love the fact that I can stick on a jumpsuit with a pair of cool trainers, and that's my outfit done. It's a really easy look. But equally, if I'm going out on a night out, I'll stick some platforms on, and it looks great.
Now, what's the most expensive piece that you own? You don't have to share how much if you don't want to, but you can if you like.
I had a really good look at this because I don't have like loads and loads of really expensive clothes, but I've kind of gone for something that's price per wear is the most expensive thing. And my husband's just bought it for me for my birthday, and it's a Rigby and Pella beach set. So it's a bikini with a beautiful, and again, it's that kind of peachy print throw. So I'm going on holiday on Saturday, and that's coming with me. And it was really expensive, so the whole outfit's about £400. But I feel amazing in it, and the bra, because I'm a big busted woman, the bikini top fits me so well, and it's so supportive that I know that I will wear that a lot over the years, and it will last me forever. So it was an investment piece, but yeah, I absolutely love it, and I'm excited to wear it.
I think that's amazing to have those types of pieces, though. I think sometimes when we go on holiday, we do feel our most self-conscious when we're in our swimwear. So actually investing a bit of money into your swimwear is really important, because then you feel really good about it. Whereas I think if you buy a super cheap bikini that has no support and isn't a great shape, you're probably not going to feel your best in that. Whereas if you've got something that's cut perfectly for your body and is a colour or a print that you really love, then I do think it just gives you that little boost when, potentially we are at our most vulnerable in our swimwear.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a size 16, I'm a 34G bust. I need stuff that's going to really fit me and support me well. And, I struggled with my body confidence so much when I was younger. So I never used to invest in nice things, the foundations really of the underwear or bikinis, swimwear. And now I make it a priority, because you're right, it makes you feel so much better when you know that you can go swimming in the sea and you're not going to kind of worry about your top falling down halfway through your swimming session, or your bikini bottom elastic going when you walk out the sea.
Yeah, there's nothing worse. There's nothing worse than you're just like being so self-conscious anyway, and then having those wardrobe malfunctions when it happens with swimwear, losing your bikini top in the sea, like you say, the elastic going in your bottoms, and you're thinking, if I pull myself out of this pool, these bottoms are not coming with me. This is not going to be great. So yeah, we need well supportive, nice bikinis that we've invested a bit of money into, because then they just make you feel fabulous.
Yeah, absolutely. So I can't wait. I will be rocking that next week in Turkey.
Now, is that your newest piece, or is there a newer addition to the wardrobe?
There is a new, I don't actually buy loads of clothes, but what I do, I really try and make sure that it fits my wardrobe. And I wear a lot of trouser suits. That's kind of one of my looks. I love wearing trouser suits. So I've recently bought a bright red linen trouser suit, and it's wide-legged. And I know that I will wear that in winter with pearl neck jumpers. I'll wear it in t-shirt with trainers, in summer with trainers and t-shirts. And I know that's my suit this year. I only try and buy one suit a year, and they've lasted me. So I'm excited about the new edition.
I love a trouser suit. I'm very much here for a trouser suit. I think they're so versatile. You can wear them as separates, wearing them together, you can dress it up. It looks great just during the day. I think, and especially in a bold colour, I bet that red looks fabulous on you.
Yeah, and I never used to wear bright colours. I used to really, I mean, I'm wearing black today, but I normally wear really bright colours, and I never used to. I used to shy away from it, and I feel so much more confident when I wear bright, bold colours and patterns. So I've kind of wasted years not wearing lots of colour, so I'm making up for it now.
And I do wonder sometimes, do we do that because we think that if we wear really dark, muted colours, we're going to stay invisible? But actually, the result of that means that we feel really judged. When people do look at us, we think, oh, well, they're definitely not judging my clothes, they're definitely judging me. And then the moment we start to wear things that are brighter and bolder, you have that confidence because you no longer think somebody's judging you. You think, oh, they're just looking at my outfit.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, for me, it was always, there was always these fashion rules that if you were bigger busted, particularly, or bigger, then if you wore black, it was slimming. It was always a slimming colour. So stay in navy blue or black. So I just adopted that as my wardrobe staple. My whole wardrobe was black because I tried to hide the size of my boobs. I wanted to make myself smaller. Whereas now, I'm not bothered. The beauty of aging is you care less about what the people think. So no, I'm not bothered. I'll wear what I want if it makes me feel good. And that involves a lot of colour. And also I'm more comfortable in the size that I am and my body shape. So I've stopped worrying about trying to hide myself.
I'm so pleased for you. I'm so pleased that you got to that point. And I wish that for all people and all women particularly, that we don't dress to make ourselves look and feel small.
Yes.
Being small isn't the pinnacle of what we can be. Being thin is not the pinnacle of what we can be. And certainly not when it comes to style. Style is about being bold and expressive and trying new things. And yes, sometimes they work and no, and other times they don't work. But it's about having fun with it. And I love that you've been able to get to that space.
Yeah, and I think one of my pet hates, Emma, is the word flatter because I see so many stylists on social media saying don't wear this to flatter a bigger bust. But actually, do you know what? If I want to wear a polo jumper because it makes me look nice in an outfit and I feel comfortable, then I'll do that. And there's all these rules around what we should be wearing, and I just think we need to get rid of them.
We should, and I think there's space to have guidance for people who are self-conscious, but I think it should only ever be guidance. I hate this idea of rules. I hate the idea of, oh, well, if you're a pear shape, never ever wear that thing.
Yeah.
And you see those kind of very clickbaity headlines, don't you, in newspaper online when you get them, and it's like the 5 things you should never wear if you want to look thin.
Yes.
I'm like, oh my God, there's the sea, go get in it, because none of us need that energy. We should just be able to wear what we want. And yes, some days we might dress for our body shape and our, the things that are going to be the most flattering. And other days we just wear the things that we want to wear. I don't care if one day, like, my hips look bigger than they would do if I was in a more flattering pair of trousers, because I want to wear those trousers.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to wear those trousers, and that's what we should do.
Yes, exactly. It's about how it makes us feel. And if somebody's wearing something that they feel really confident in, they will be able to rock any outfit style, whether it's the traditional flattering outfit that they're meant to wear because someone's told them. It is that how it connecting with how it makes you feel makes such a big difference to how you step out in your clothes, I think.
And you said earlier that you really started to come into your own and getting more confidence as you got older. Do you think that that is something that's a newer habit? Because I see it on social media, particularly. There are a lot more ladies of a certain age who are slightly older who are really coming into their own. Whereas growing up, I don't know if it's just that they weren't visible because you didn't have social media, so people weren't sharing it, or whether it was that it was still stuck in that kind of mentality of, well, now I'm getting old, I should just fade into the background. Whereas I feel we're not doing that anymore.
No, yeah, I think when I look back at my mum in her 50s, I'm 54 now, when I look back at what my mum was doing in the 50s, it was very much sticking to a certain mould and what we were put in boxes because of our age and what there's still articles out there saying don't wear this over the age of 50. You should be wearing this. And that generation really stuck to it, I think, much more. And we're walking away from that and saying, well, actually, no, we'll wear what we want. And And also, I think people, old women now are living a different life. Our modern lives today, and we're starting new careers, new businesses later in life, new adventures, and with that comes that kind of reinvention of yourself, and along with your wardrobe, which is really exciting.
I do think it's such good progress. There's certain places where we don't make good progress, but I think in this instance, it is incredible that this is the kind of direction that we're moving into. And I wish that for so many more women as they, age, that they don't start to feel invisible, that actually, if anything, they start to feel more visible because they're suddenly feeling more confident in themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. And what's one of the great things about social media is that it has allowed a platform for older women to express themselves and show up and represent, because we're not represented on the high street in the fashion industry. Ageism's still that kind of last ism to be ticked, whereas social media, we're taking control of it and saying, well, actually, we'll show up and this is what we're wearing and this is how we actually look and dress and live our lives. So we've kind of taken it on ourselves to do, which I love. There is that kind of really empowering feeling about it.
I know. I would really hope that brands eventually stop with the tokenism. I find there's so much tokenism, particularly in kind of ad campaigns, where they go, well, we need a curve model and we need somebody of, a different ethnicity. They can't all be white. And we do need one older person and we need one disabled person. And I'm like, no, just get one person who is great, whether they are the disabled person, the older person, the plus size person, whatever they are, and just shoot the campaign with them. The amount of brands that I see where their price point is very much reflected and directed to a certain group, particularly, the slightly older woman with the more expendable income, yet every single model in their campaign is like in their 20s.
Yeah, absolutely. And then they include them in the campaign. And then you go on the website and there's no older models to be seen. So it doesn't carry through to the e-com. It is just tokenism and it's so frustrating.
Yeah, it really needs work on that. They really, really need to sort themselves out. I did see today particularly about Sienna Miller's new range for Marks and Spencer that she's done, and that it only goes up to a size 20, and 20s are not available in store, they're only available online.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing? Why are you doing that? Like, come on, don't offer a sizing if you're then not going to put it in store like the rest of the sizes, because that's not inclusivity, that's not inclusion, that's exclusion.
Yeah.
You're not including those extra sizes, you're actually making them feel worse by going, well, no, you can only shop online because you're not slim enough to shop in store. What is that saying to people?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's the same as the Victoria Beckham mango collection, though, isn't it?
That was
stopped at like size 14. I was really excited about that. I would have, as a shopper, I would have bought some pieces from that. And they stopped at size 14 and didn't have, and they sold out really quickly anyway. And I think some stuff didn't even go past a 12, which is crazy. In this day and age, I do not know how someone could sit around a marketing table and think that's acceptable.
It blew my mind when I saw that. I'm like, what on earth were they thinking?
Yeah.
Who has approved that? Who has sat in that meeting and gone, oh yeah, that's fine? Because I guarantee a lot of the people sat around that table in that meeting wouldn't have been able to buy those clothes.
Exactly.
Because the average size of a UK woman, I believe, is a 16.
Yeah,
so those people can't even buy the clothes that they're then sitting around the table going, yeah, let's approve it just to go up to a 12 or a 14. Yeah. It is madness. Brands really, really need to take note and start looking at inclusion in a more thorough way and a less tokenism way.
Yeah, absolutely. It drives me mad.
Now, are you quite sentimental about the pieces in your wardrobe? Have you got something you would consider your most sentimental piece?
Yeah, I have actually. And again, it's swimwear. I do wear normal clothes, but swimwear, because I'm a swimwear model. But this is actually my mum's swimming costume. So she bought this at the end of the 70s, and it fits me like a glove. So I now wear it. And I love the fact that, 50 years on, I am now wearing my mum's swimming costume. I don't wear it very often because I almost want to have it framed with a gorgeous, on a white background, and just have this swimming costume framed, because I don't ever want to not have it in my life. But I love the fact that mum wore it and bought it and I'm now wearing it.
Oh my goodness, have you got pictures of her in it?
No, that's the only thing that I've gone through all her photographs. But obviously, back in the 70s and early 80s, no one really took photographs on holiday. It wasn't that kind of thing. So I just haven't found any. I'm still on the hunt because I would love to. I remember her wearing it, but I just haven't seen any photos.
Maybe you should get a picture of you in it, a gorgeous, I'm imagining, black and white on the beach, wind blowing through the hair, running through the surf kind of vibes. And then you could have that on one side and then the costume on the other side. It'd be gorgeous.
Yes, I'm loving that idea. Thank you.
Now, what is the piece in your wardrobe you would say most sums you up?
Again, this is another really hard one because I've got some real favourite pieces, but it's a trouser suit. And it's a Joanie one from one of their latest collections. And I absolutely love how bold it is. The pattern is so cool. It's got that kind of vintage 1970s, nod to that. The cut's fantastic. And yeah, that for me says when I'm wearing that, I feel confident, feel like I'm wearing something that stands out. I'm not hiding. And it's very much me. It's what I'm about.
The print is fabulous. We had the gorgeous Jess Williams, who's actually an artist and a print designer for Joanie, on the podcast a while ago. And I loved talking to her about all her inspiration and how she comes up with the prints, because that is something that Joanie do exceptionally well.
Yes. Yeah, they really do. It's great quality as well. The material's really good. The cuts, yeah, I'm a really big fan of the brand.
They're fabulous. And I think they think about sustainability, they think about inclusion, they've got their fabulous prints and lovely pieces. It is such a great brand to buy from.
Yes, yeah.
Now, everybody who has listened to Off the Hanger is fully aware of what a disaster I am when it comes to the good old wardrobe malfunction. Not so much the fashion faux pas, I don't feel as much these days, but definitely a wardrobe malfunction. They still happen to me on a regular basis. Would you like to join my special disaster club, and do you have a story to share?
Not about actually photos. It's more about an outfit that haunts me, that I now look back and think, what the hell did I think that for? I must have been about 22, and I'd been invited to the theatre by my partner at the time's mother. So it was my kind of, she ended up being my mother-in-law, but we went to this theatre. She was very glamorous. She owned a designer boutique shop, so I always felt under pressure to make sure I dressed up and looked great. And I don't know what possessed me, but I borrowed a pair of my mum's mustard kind of coloured wide-legged culottes with some black boots, and mustard is not my colour. The culottes, I just looked like a bugger in. And I just remember turning up and her looking at me in the theatre and saying, "Oh, you've gone for culottes." And I was like, "No," and you just don't look right. And I had to spend the whole night cringing, thinking, why did I choose to do that? And it was about trying to please other people and fit in. I should have just gone in my jeans and stuck a blazer on and I would have been perfectly happy. But instead I wore something that I would never normally wear. And to be fair, my mum probably shouldn't have bought them in the first place. So God knows what I thought I was doing. So yeah, that when I look back now, I think, oh, I shouldn't have done that.
Oh no, I think we've all done that. I think we've all had that experience of wearing something because we think that is the right thing that we're supposed to be in, and then we look back and go, why am I wearing that? Like, why am I wearing that? I've done it personally, like filming something where I've kind of just stuck some boots or some trainers on because I've said to them, are you going to see me full length?
Yes.
And they've gone, no, we're definitely not going to see you full length. And of course, then they've shot it full length and then that's what they've used. And I've gone, why didn't I just put my heels on?
Yeah.
Why didn't I just put my proper shoes on that I'd planned to go with this outfit? I've just gone, no, it's fine. I'll just wear these. And then there's a particular thing that was in my showroom and I was like, I'm going to crop that because I can't deal with those boots that don't go with the rest of that outfit. I'm like, I'm supposed to be a fashion stylist. What is this?
Yeah, the mustard, I would definitely put those in the bin if I could.
Oh yeah, there's very few people that are pulling off mustard, to be fair.
Yeah.
It's a hard colour. It's definitely, there's no mustard anywhere to be seen in my wardrobe. I don't think it's something that a lot of us can manage.
And they're really high-waisted as well and really fitted around my hips. So they just accentuated everything in the wrong areas. in a bright mustard way.
Now, are you quite tall? Do you love a heel, or what are your favourite shoes?
No, I'm 5'7.5". That half is very important. And I've got a really bad foot, so I have arthritis in my foot. So unless I'm working and I have to wear heels, I try to avoid it. So I live in trainers, Adidas trainers, flats, loafers. I really, really try and avoid heels. And I wish I could, because I see heels and I think, oh God, they look so great with an outfit. So I have had to try and adapt my wardrobe to fit in with flats more. And sometimes it's a challenge. You know, I love 1950s silhouettes, so I love pencil dresses and figure-hugging dresses. And finding like little flats to go with those when you know a kitten heel or a heel will look so much better is really frustrating. So I don't wear heels very often, but I wish I did.
So what are your favourite shoes?
So again, a little bit of vintage, but they are some vintage blue and white churches from the 70s. And the leather on them is so soft and they go with so many things. They've got a tiny, tiny heel, but I absolutely love them and they are the comfiest shoes that I have.
I love Churches. Again, a really, really high quality brand that if you buy a pair of Churches, they are a lifelong thing. They will last you forever. You will then pass them on to somebody else or they will go off to be vintage, but they are just incredible quality.
Yeah, the leather is so soft. I can literally wear them all day. They're still in really good condition. I've had them re-heeled. And I just love them.
And because usually a loafer style, I find a loafer is a bit murderous. I find a loafer is always really prone to blisters on the back of your heel. Whereas if you get one that's got that incredibly soft leather, you're not having those problems.
No, and I guess maybe that's an advantage of buying vintage. And I think lots of people wouldn't buy vintage shoes because they might be thinking, oh God, no. But for me, because they've been worn in, they haven't got that stiff leather. The heel's really soft. I bought new insoles and I've worn them for years.
You see, I'm completely on board with you. I've got a lot, like an excessive amount of shoes, and I've got a lot of designer shoes, but the majority of the designer shoes that I've bought have all been pre-loved because somebody else has done the hard work for me. Yeah. Somebody else has spent hours breaking those ones in so that by the time I put my feet in there, I'm not the one getting the blisters and the pain because they've been broken in. The leather's really softened. So it is a top tip. Just get over yourself, get a bit of, you know, as you say, a new insole, bit of dry wash in there, you'll be fine.
Exactly.
Now, is there a fashion piece that you're lusting after? Something that you, if the universe could give it to you, irrespective of cost and practicality, you would love to own?
I would love to own a Vivienne Westwood dress. One of the ones that's really corseted and fitted, because I just think, you know, they did still, even though she's not with us now, they designed for women so well with the body shapes of all sizes, and I love that. And Dolce & Gabbana as well. I would absolutely kill to have a Dolce & Gabbana dress. I think they're amazing. The artistry work that goes into those dresses and the corseting and the shapes are just beautiful. So that, you know, if I could find one of those pre-loved somewhere, I would be on it.
Oh, what a great answer. I think you are completely right there. I think the corsetry on a Vivienne Westwood dress with the draping around the shoulder and then, just feminine. Absolutely.
Yeah, really feminine, really just beautiful cuts.
And timeless as well. Yeah. Regardless of whether, you know, you were wearing it when it first came out or whether you wear it in 30 or 40 years' time, they still look incredible.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so that's my goals.
And finally, to finish on, do you have a piece of fashion advice you would have given your younger self?
I would say, I would have said to myself, dress to express, not impress. I would have made sure that I was dressing to what made me feel good, that showed off my personality and stopped worrying about what anybody else might think I might be wearing. I spent too much time worrying about what people expected me to wear and whether people thought I looked great or not. And that's held me back. And now it's like, I'm not bothered. I'll wear what I want. I'm not here to people please other people.
Preach. Absolutely. Amen. That is the best advice. I love that so much. Thank you so much for being a guest. I've loved listening to all your stories.
It's been a pleasure. Really good fun. Thank you, Emma.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, please remember to share this episode with a friend.